Oh, yeah. Meatball number 4. Here we go. We're starting it off. Starting it off light for the audio listener. Well, wish you could see it. I wish you could see it. Thank you, brother.
How many people watch versus how many listen, you think?
Oh, we have about 2 million listeners.
2 million and about 46
46
watchers?
million. 46 million viewers.
46 million viewers. God damn.
Today's episode is going to be all about the entertainment industry.
Well, a lot of people have said we maybe went Hollywood.
How to make it in America.
And we're trying to dispel the rumors.
That we went Hollywood?
Yeah.
Who's saying that? Why?
The
Or do
haters?
you just mean...
I said it. Dylan said it. Dylan said it.
Honestly,
We went to
thank you for that fucking life rap right there, dude.
Dylan's been saying we went Hollywood.
Oh, man. So, we've... Yeah, so the impetus for this conversation is that Phil here is a very accomplished television writer and director, producer, and we
the
wanted
visionary mind behind Young Sheldon. He also did
Teen Sheldon.
You did Teen Sheldon, and I think you're developing Elder Sheldon.
Elder Sheldon.
Elder Sheldon, yeah. Elder Sheldon.
You originally wanted to call it Shelder.
I wanted to call it Shelder, or just like sextagenarian.
Emphasis on the sex.
Yeah, because he's gonna start fucking finally.
Yeah.
We've seen Big Bang Theory. He doesn't get any. We've seen Young Sheldon. We've seen Medium Sheldon. I worked on Medium Sheldon too, where he is a medium.
What else did you do?
He's a medium, but he's also a teenager.
The Freddie and Frankie, the one with
Grace and Frankie.
Grace
Come on
and
now.
Frankie.
Show me some grace.
Sorry.
Please. Show me some grace. I did Grace and Frankie. I actually saw an episode of that show where you can see her sitting on her script in the episode.
Are you serious? Really?
Yep.
And you didn't write that in?
I didn't write that in.
Oh.
But I thought it was cute.
That is cute.
I just like to see old people fuck if you want to see a thread coming through some of my things, but I've put that all behind me for women's furniture sales now.
That's right.
No, we're obviously joking, but Phil does have a very fun, illustrious TV writing.
Yeah, and people have asked about it, and Emil obviously knows the all the details, but I don't know all the details too. So I am curious, and I think it would be pretty fun for people to hear firsthand, straight from the Phil's mouth.
Straight from the Phil's
exactly
mouth.
What it's like, because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people do still want to break into the film and television industries, and it has changed quite a lot since you've gotten into it, right, Phil?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so let's start from the beginning, where you were living in New York City. You were working at an advertising agency called Rooster.
Okay, let's...
Yeah, he's like insane with the details.
We want to get every
It's okay.
They're defunct.
Well, yes.
Is it the guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not.
Right. It's like we're getting advice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was very different back then, and it's very different now, and it's all very strange now, and it'd be interesting to hear about Will too, your other friend, if you're okay.
Oh yeah,
talking about
we'll get
that.
into
but
that.
Like, because I am curious in the live action space, what's going on TV wise. Okay, I started doodling these little animated rats and roaches and stuff
while you were working at an
while I was
advertising
working at this ad agency, and then posted it on YouTube. It never really went viral. It never really kind of did anything like that. But we submitted it to a festival.
And you were doing this in your free time.
In my
while
free
you
time,
were working,
yeah.
You were like, sneaking away time, nights and weekends to make this little.
I went fully
web
psycho
series,
mode. Yeah, I was
series,
like
basically.
really nuts about it. We would screen it at UCB for Channel 101. And
Yeah.
so that actually was really good because it gave us like a monthly deadline to put it out.
Who's we?
Me and Mike, who worked on it with me.
And you know Mike from where?
Rooster,
From
from
Rooster.
the ad agency.
Okay. And what were you both doing at Rooster?
I was a copywriter copywriter, and I ended up being sort of a creative director, and Mike was an editor. But you gotta keep in mind, this is like 12 people that were in this entire operation. So everyone sort of did everything. It was a really great place because it was, and advertising is a really good place to work as a young creative person. You can make a lot of money. And it teaches you all of this shit that you're going to need eventually of like, you're making little movies and you're pitching every week. We were going into rooms and pitching ideas for stuff. And then you're on set and you're seeing how to direct stuff. And then I was lucky enough to direct some commercials and even just like writing the commercials. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Yeah.
How old were you at this time?
24, 25.
Wow. So you're 24, 25 in New York City.
23 to, I started working there in when did we graduate? 2011?
Yeah.
And then about 6 months after graduation, I think I was at Rooster because I had a brief career in horse racing journalism.
Yeah, that was fun.
Wasn't that nuts?
Yeah.
Wait,
Very
what?
Scary time in my life. I worked for a website that was basically like a lifestyle. It was owned by the Pennsylvania Board of Tourism, and it was like 5 burgers you can get at the Erie, Pennsylvania fucking
Was that the
racetrack.
Mail? That's the mail.
He's really having fun, really making a meal out of my fucking mailbox. I'm sorry, guys, but man needs to defend his house,
Honestly.
especially when he's got such precious cargo inside. We were sorry. Where was I with it?
So you were
Erie, Pennsylvania.
briefly working
at
Horse and
yes,
Hound.
right.
And
That
then-
doesn't matter.
And then you came to New York.
Then
and,
came to New York, and also even for that job, I was like, it was like a really cool young ad agency, and I like followed them on Tumblr. Then I like followed their Vimeo, and they reached out to me because I submitted to another website they had, all this other sort of stuff. So I like really,
And they were like, "You're funny. We like your shit."
yes, and I sort of like backdoored my way into there. So I started doing these animated shorts, just going full early 20s psycho mode, from stand up too, where it's like
Right.
you get up every night.
I could
'Cause-
never do it now.
Exactly.
Like if I didn't do it, then I would have never done it.
Right. And I think especially for us too, college was like very weird for us. It was very amorphous. Neither of us really knew what we wanted to do. So I think becoming adults outside of that was like, yeah, let me like fucking drink the milkshake of life and like just go ham on making shit as much as possible. But the real thing that changed the whole trajectory of Animals was submitting to this festival that was called New York Television Festival. I don't even think it's around anymore.
But you turned that web series into a full length episode.
Oh yes, true. So we did do, those were like 3 to 4 minutes. And then we were like, if we string like 2 or 3 of these together, it'll be a quarter hour pilot more or less. So we
and
did
it's
that.
you guys doing the voices too.
Mike did the voices. I did literally everything else.
And what program did you use?
I used Final Cut Pro 7, which was a defunct editing app at that time. So I used Adobe Illustrator to draw everything. And then I would it's a video editing app. So it would be like fill 1 blink, fill 1, and then you just edit it back and forth. And before you know it, something's blinking.
Take it in. Really suck it down as you relive your.
I feel like I'm in a spa.
I feel like I'm back in Tokyo.
I do feel like I'm back.
Golly.
I remember we were in Tokyo and we had
man.
2 beers and you smoked a cig and you said, everyone should feel this. I've never heard you be so earnest. Everyone should feel this. It was one of the most poignant things I've ever heard someone say.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
Once that second or third beer hits and you pull out the cigarette.
You pull
and
out the
then-
cigarette. It's really
it's
nuts.
heaven.
So we submitted it to this festival. And before this, I didn't know what an agent, I didn't know what a manager was or anything like that. So often at these festivals, sometimes it's a crapshoot, but a lot of times there's industry people there. And that was where we got introduced to people. And that's question number 1 is like this representation thing. Because we can all write a script and all of that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, it's still like a huge barrier of entry is getting it in front of executives, getting it in front of production studios, getting it in front of network people, let alone you kind of need these fucking succubus that take 20% of your shit. But that's just the way this whole thing got built. So you sort of need those people to a certain degree. But also I want to know about Will and stuff too, because there are other ways that you can do this. Will also made his own stuff.
Well,
we'll
also
get
just
there.
to like wrap up how it all happened too, because I don't think what you did is like I don't know how often that's going to happen anymore. You won Best Comedy Pilot at a New York TV Festival.
Yes.
A lot of people were like, holy shit, we want this show.
Yes.
You got called out by Mitch Hurwitz when he was giving
the creator of
Arrested Development.
Arrested Development.
Hold up. We had a screening and we were at the screening. And so we missed the keynote speech. And Mitch Hurwitz came out and said, "Are the Animals guys here?"
Right.
And everyone was like, "No." And he's like, "God, that thing was good." And got to meet him afterwards. But
so then you guys are, darlings of the fest. People want to make animals. You're getting offers from people to come do a pilot. And
yes,
but which is a shitty deal because it's like, great, we'll make a pilot. The majority of pilots get passed on.
Ours would have.
I fully. Think. And
ouch. Okay.
No, because everyone's does.
No, it does. Yeah.
And so you end up going, you get all this excitement and you do this whole thing where you try to like stay detached from it because you're like, well, the reality is that this probably won't go anywhere.
Yeah.
And then at the end you go, well, geez, what did we do? And what do I have to show for it?
Right.
And instead you got a call from the Duplass brothers.
Yes.
And they said, you can, you have all these other offers.
Yes.
Or you could come to us, we'll make 10 episodes of a TV show and we'll try to sell it to someone. And regardless, we're going to end up making a TV show, no matter what happens.
Yeah.
So we went with that.
We went with that, yes, which is Mark and Jay are both as talented creatives as they are. They've also really dedicated to being good entertainment businessmen, which I always thought was cool because they like really rocked that on their sleeve too, of like, you should be knowledgeable about this shit. You should figure out the best deal for you. And, as someone that was making this thing on my own, that sounded really great of like, yeah, let's just fucking make it on our own and bet on ourselves. And then
you guys took it to Sundance.
Yeah. Well, we spent 9 months, moved to LA, never been here before, moved to LA. Mark put us up in a little apartment. And for 9 months, we animated it. I animated the first 2 episodes of Animals that's on TV by myself. We had our friend Nathan, we had our friend Andrew, we had our friend Isaac, and Mike, obviously.
Wait, is this the Isaac that I know?
No, this is a different
Isaac.
one.
Okay.
We holed up in this little apartment, but like all these fun comedian people, Adam Scott, Molly Shannon, they all came to our weird little apartment to record.
I'm
in
guessing
our
that was on the Duplass brothers' part.
That's what they funded was that aspect. And what Mark, and you got to think too, this is like right before Togetherness was coming out, right when they were still cooking with movies and stuff and venturing into TV. So those guys too, that other aspect, point C, that we'll get back to is like partnering up with additive producers. We could talk about your situation too with that one guy of like non-additive producers. But yeah, that aspect. Yeah. So we made 2 episodes because immediately it was like, oh no, I can't do this. This will take 6 years to finish 10 episodes. But we wrote all 10 episodes. So, what Emil was alluding to was that it's really hard to make 2 episodes entirely of a TV show. I dedicated 9 months to it. I made no money over those 9 months. All the advertising money I had went away to exist. But with that package, we had 10 episodes written. We had 2 episodes completed. Then we submitted to Sundance. We were the first TV show to ever go to Sundance. And that fucking momentum behind it was like really felt really good.
And the reason that you guys did that instead of going the more traditional route of selling just a pilot is because when you do that, it gives the production company, whichever one that buys the pilot, they then own it. And then
Yeah,
and then they're like,
right.
well, okay, we bought it, and now we're just going to sit on it because we don't really, maybe
Yes.
they don't share the same vision as you, so they're
Yes.
less likely to actually fund the thing. So it was a lot better for you guys to go this route because you've got a lot more of the process that would otherwise happen already completed.
Yes.
And you can now you can go to a network and be like, look, we've already gotten 9 episodes filmed, or 9 episodes written, 2 episodes filmed.
was
It
actually
makes it
10.
a
He
lot
wrote 10
more
episodes.
likely for them to actually,
Yes.
yeah.
That's very interesting because a lot of times they want to get their grubby little fingers all over it.
Right.
So-
that too, yeah.
We did a very risky, very weird thing of making all of this stuff, and then HBO picked it up, and then
They bought 2 seasons right off the bat.
right off the goddamn bat.
So
and I remember calling my manager, and he was like, "They don't do that." And
Yeah.
I was like, "Well, you might want to call somebody else."
Wait. So how did that happen?
We screened at Sundance,
Mhm.
and then basically you kind of open the door. Everyone's there. Every
Right.
network is there. And 2015, you got to keep in mind of like, Amazon was a brand new streaming service.
Trump was still just
Hulu.
the funny guy.
Trump was a funny guy. I loved the guy back then.
There was compilations of him saying China. We thought it was all a
Yeah,
joke.
it was nuts. And then, so yeah, it was like, it went around, became this little bidding war thing, and HBO is like the shit. And so, yeah, we went with them, and then, yeah, partnered with an animation studio, and then started making the show, and then did 2 seasons, then a 3rd season, and then it wrapped. So nowadays, there's,
Well, you did 3 seasons total, though.
we did 3 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
On which you were obviously you were credited as executive producer, co-creator,
Yes.
writer, head
director.
writer.
Yeah, me and Mike wrote every episode. There
That's
was no
so
other writer.
fucking
Yeah, there's
cool.
no writer's room.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And they didn't even for looking at the wind. What the fuck was that? It was like a art project. We would have one meeting, especially now, realizing how rare this is. We would have one meeting a year where we would be like, here's the 10 episodes for the season. And I would pitch it, the whole thing. One time I had a button down shirt on, maybe for season 2. And the middle button was open. So my whole like hairy chest was out. And Mike was like, sort of like doing this to me, like, look down at your shirt. And I was going, like nodding back, like, yeah, I think I am doing good. Thank you, Michael. And yeah, then I looked down, I was like, okay, good to know. But it was a very rare, and also a completely different network where it mattered when you aired. We were 11:30 on Friday nights. That's a very low stakes time slot for them, a very fun experimental time slot. And we were, I forget the exact math of it, but somehow with advertising or something like that, our show basically cost nothing. Like, and comparatively to a lot of live action shows, and especially the higher end live action shows, we were just like a fun little thing that they were pushing that like sort of checks off, fun adult animated comedy that they're very rarely dipping their toes into. But I sucked on those toes. I sucked on those toes for a while. I sucked on the toes of HBO for a bit.
Steve Dildarian.
Me and Steve Dildarian, one of the funniest people on earth.
The late night HBO
That's
animated
right.
comedy kings.
Absolutely.
And now there's a lot more. You guys were, dare I say, pioneering a bit the adult animated kind of thing, because now it's like a dime a dozen.
Yeah, I think
At least in the sense that networks are willing to take a risk.
yeah,
on it.
and there's just a lot more places, and there's a lot more executives at those places, but there's not anymore. We sold the show to this guy, Michael Lombardo at HBO, that was there forever. And then you hear about these guys like Mike Lazo at Adult Swim, who defined the voice of the network and all that sort of stuff. And there's not really many of these career producers anymore. So
why do you think that is?
Because this thing is bought by that thing, and that thing now owns this thing. So it's like, constantly that thing, dude. For the one cartoon I had, we took it out for the first time in 2019, and the Amazon executives are at Netflix now, and one of the Apple executives was at HBO, and the HBO executive is at Amazon now. It's like they just shuffle around, and it's not a lot of people who are willing to take big risks. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer on now, because also there's so many more places you can pitch it to.
Sure.
So,
but it has
yeah,
changed in the sense that, like, you know, it feels like a much more frustrating. I think it was always a frustrating industry for people because it's like a thing tons of people want to do.
Yeah.
But with all these different places you can pitch and everything, and there used to be a structure there that basically evaporated, where there was a pilot season, and there was like all of these benchmarks throughout the year where, you know, you knew whether or not your pilot got bought, you knew whether or not they were going to make a pilot, and then there was the upfronts where they would have.
Well, wait, let's explain what these are to people. What's pilot season, Emil?
I think people know what pilots are and stuff. It's like when people are going out with their pilots to try to sell it. So it was like there was a very distinct season where people were buying because they had to hit all these deadlines and stuff.
Because they want to put stuff on air by XYZ.
You had to have your slate of shows ready
to sell to advertisers.
Advertisers at the upfronts, which usually happened in May, I think. And it was like it followed a very distinct season. It was like September to May, basically. Sitcoms would happen, and you would have like Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas episodes.
Right.
And then, but now that is like,
God, our Christmas episode aired in like July. I was so upset.
Are you kidding?
I love Christmas episodes, and I was like, maybe we can back it up a bit. And they're like, yeah, it's gonna be like July 12th. I was like, for sure, the farthest away it can be.
That's kind of funny.
Nah, it's all good. It's all streamed.
But
now.
When that structure was in place, there was also people were getting paid like crazy. I mean, you could work on a TV show for a full year and kind of, you know, if you were out of work for the next year or two, it wouldn't be dire straits.
Right.
And so when you got staffed on something, you were working for like 30 or more weeks. And now people will.
And look at the episode amounts for like Seinfeld and Friends and stuff.
Sometimes you're talking about like a 26 episode season, and then you're staying on for filming and stuff.
Yeah.
And then not to mention residuals that you get when they go on to air over and over again.
But now people will get hired to write for a Netflix show that's anywhere from like 6 to 10 episodes. They get to write for 10 weeks, and then they're.
I mean, 6 is so tiny.
It's crazy.
You know, it's just like.
But it's also, we have a lot of friends who are finally selling pilots, and it's, I don't know, at first this kind of joyous thing. Oh my God, we've been waiting for this to happen. But then there's all this frustration around what happens next, where they just kind of put you through the ringer. It can be.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about your friend who sold a TV show and what his experience was like in contrast to Phil's?
Oh, well, I don't. I feel bad because when I was in New York, I found out it didn't get picked up.
Fuck. But I think the cool silver lining about his situation is he's another, and I think my biggest thing that I always say is, if you can make stuff on your own, even shooting with your friends, this was a live action thing, so it's not even like animated stuff. And he just did this because he liked doing this, and like had no, you know, if I started animating animals with the aspirations of like, this is going to be a TV show. Obviously that was a small thing, but it was like, I don't know. I'm just like on Adderall. I'm 20 something. This is New York City. I like screening stuff. I'm going to make stuff. That is the most fun you're going to have making anything. And I think that form of expression will hopefully, and you know, like stringing together 2 or 3 of these, we backdoored it into a quarter-hour pilot. So anyway, your friend's show sort of stemmed from a similar-ish thing. Right?
Yeah.
Well, did he shoot stuff?
Yeah. So his was actually a kind of very similar thing where he had he was shooting these little things just because he thought they were fun, working a regular day job, and that's there's also these, you know, the assistants also weirdly run Hollywood in a weird way, and some assistant was putting together a newsletter that he was sending out to because they all want to move ahead. They all want to be hired or promoted to execs and get to make decisions and stuff. So they want to do things that are going to catch higher ups' attention and stuff. So he was, for the comedy world, he was putting out a newsletter every week and sending it out to agents, directors, writers, producers. Sick. Yeah. I mean, I guess he would basically say, do you want to subscribe? And people would, because I guess he had good taste. And he had no idea. Someone just put his short on the newsletter. And so it went out to a bunch of people. And he got a call and he thought it was like a prank, because he was like, I saw your thing and like, we want to do something with you. And he's like, the fuck are you talking about? And he was like, do you know the newsletter?
How are they calling from he's got his
I guess
Vimeo
yeah, I get yeah. And so
And how long ago was that?
that was probably 2020, end of 2021, 2022.
Just so we get a sense of how long these things can take, how protracted they become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and
toward
they did, he did end up pitching it and they ended up buying it. And, and so, yeah, now it's the middle of 2024 and he just found out that it's not going.
So as part of that process, when you say he pitched it, he put together what they call a pitch deck, which is anywhere from a few to like a dozen pages, let's say, which outlines what the show is going to be, what you envision it to be, who the characters are, a little synopsis on them. And then maybe some potential episode breakdowns, some summaries of like, here's what the show, just exactly what it sounds like. Here's what the show, what we envision it to be. And you try to give as much detail so that these executives can envision what you're envisioning to the end that so that they might want to buy it. Right.
Yeah.
And so they bought it and then he just sat and waited.
No, they write a script
and then you
Right.
give it to them and then they say, we like it. Can you rewrite it with these changes? And
Sure.
you go, oh, sure, we can do that. And you incorporate it and they go, it's still not right. We were thinking and you're like, oh, wow, that's a big change. And then you rewrite it again.
And that's what he went through.
Yeah, that's what pretty much like everyone is.
Right.
Yeah.
And after almost, let's just call it 2 years, he finally gets word that they're like, we're not going to pick it up.
Right.
And he got paid for the pilot that they bought.
Yeah.
So do they own the intellectual property now of that show? There's nothing he can't take it elsewhere.
No, once they pass, he can go out to other.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's
you can get
nice.
it back. I have this show that I've taken out. I first started pitching it in 2019 and we sold it to one place and then they passed on it and then we sold it to another place and then they passed on it and now we're on a third place with it. So I've been in development on this one show for about 5 years now.
What does that do for your
Bank account?
No, enthusiasm. Because I mean that is nice that you get a little cash.
It's like this devil's deal of like, sure, I'm getting paid on the same 30 pages again and again, but it's so Sisyphean.
But it's not the same 30 pages, right? You're like redoing it.
You redo it for this. These people want it to be more family. These people, they don't want the kids in it. These people want it another way.
And as you go, are you pitching what you think is like, maybe you're pitching a version 2 versions ago?
Yeah, because they don't see everything. But again, like a lot of these people were at other places of me pitching it. It luckily has gotten more and more into my realm of like, it's more adult, it's more horny, it's more like joke focused, less plot heavy and stuff, which I think will be a really, really fun show. So this 6th or 7th iteration is it always feels like the best one whenever you're on it. I'm grateful for it, but at the same time, I'm so fucking done with it.
Yeah, your enthusiasm for it has waned, you would say?
I'm very excited about this show, you guys. I really wanted to green light. I would love a green light, but Absolutely. I fucking hate it. I don't want to work on it ever again.
Where would your ideal home for it be?
Where I'm at now feels pretty good.
Can you say what that is?
Yeah, it's at Netflix.
So you've got this show that you've pitched elsewhere.
And you've still got
Netflix-
the women's furniture company, if it all.
The
falls-
women's furniture ain't going nowhere.
right?
Because girls need that stuff.
Well, and that's your passion.
Well, we'll
project.
pivot into that next, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about.
Well,
it.
wait.
Because you got to talk to the girl. 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. Is it a studio? If it's a studio, you might as well not even talk to her.
Right,
How much furniture is you get in a studio?
not a big contract.
It's not going to be a big contract.
Unless they're one of those Japanese like
Girls?
No, those Japanese like
Then you keep them in the store.
yeah.
See, what are you up to? I got some fun stuff.
Wait, Phil.
They eat on the floor though,
Phil.
so then you can't really get the
You're
chairs.
not
We've
so-
been to Japan, so I know this.
Yeah,
So what is so where it's at now? They've bought the pilot and now what? Where's it at now?
They yeah, we well, I get we
Phil's French all of a sudden. We.
really good stuff. For an animated show, you have to come up with art. So that's a big aspect too. Just going back to the pitch and getting the deck together and all that sort of stuff. We pitched the show. And another big thing about shows is like, why are you doing this? All that sort of shit of like, it's about my parents, the show. So that always helps too in rooms of like, this is the reason why I'm doing this. And I think this is
like
really
the
important for this.
authenticity and
They like the
it's
authenticity.
story.
Right. And there's all these other aspects of it. Like, why is it an interesting world that people want to tune into? And then thinking about, is it serialized? Is it not serialized? Now I'm at, this show is at a place where it got turned around 2 times. Now it's at Netflix and they're like, we want it to be a little bit more adult. Great. Did that, wrote them a script. And then we're in the second process now of rewriting the script for them. And it's really good notes. It's really even more in the direction of where I want to go.
Even hornier.
Honestly, even hornier. I've had some really graphic things in this script. I opened it where the wife is sleeping and she's like, honey, come here, give me a kiss. And he's like, oh, now your morning breath? It's terrible. I'll eat you out. I'm not going to kiss you. But like,
Ooh.
is that hot?
These are his parents he's talking about.
Well, it's me. It's me. I'm voicing
You
my
play
dad.
the dad.
And then I finally get to fulfill my destiny
Of eating.
of a New Jersey boy's dream.
Voicing his
Of
animated
becoming
dad.
your dad
Oh.
and taking over the family.
And when
Wifing your mummy.
when you say the script, you just mean the pilot.
It's just the pilot
Right.
episode. But for another place, we wrote it. They wanted the script, and then because we developed it with another place, they were like, we should do a second episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the first place, we wrote the script for them, and then they were like, okay, our marching orders is we need a format, which is like a really big Bible. Like this was like fucking 20 pages, single spaced of like, here's the season of the
Here's
show.
what the show is. Here's what the
Yeah.
themes we're going to explore.
Yeah,
Here's
that
what
each
episodes
character
could look
has like a
like.
way
Yeah.
bigger thing, way more art. It's
Here's what the
cool
whole
because I have like
world
a
is.
book
Yeah.
of the show now, and it really invests you in it. And like, if someone wants another episode, I could write tons of these things now. But
And that's all for the same show that's now. at
this
Netflix.
is all for this one show. Yeah, that's now
Gotcha.
at Netflix. Previous, but other situations right after Animals, me and Mike had this show, Twins, that, man, we had 1 page. We made a short and we had 1 page of what the show could be. And we partnered with a production studio and pitched it to Fox, and they picked it up right there. So it was like, it varies. It's all very strange and different. And I've done tons of different iterations of it.
What happened with Twins?
Twins?
And this was based on the Coors Light commercial?
Yeah, it was about
Twins.
big old titties. You know what they say about martinis? 1's not enough. 2's
Two's-
good. 3 is too many, but 4, that's a party.
Oh, I like that. Should we drink 4 martinis tonight?
Did I say martinis are like tits? Because that is
No.
what makes the joke.
Okay.
Oh, brother.
You
Do
didn't.
you see it
didn't-
even
you missed that
better
part.
now? 'Cause
Yeah.
4's a party? Because it's like 2 chicks.
Yeah.
3's too many. Because it's like 3 tits. Like, what is that?
Right. And 3 martinis, you're like, what am I doing? But
Yeah,
4,
four?
you turn it around, you're going, okay, now we're. All right.
Yes.
Nah, I think I gotta agree with you.
And it's so salty. Like you're just SpongeBob in Sandy's house.
So what happened with twins?
They passed on it. The story of my life. And then I opened up my first women's furniture store and I sold an ottoman and I never looked back.
And so with Netflix now, it's at the stage in development where you're pretty damn sure that they're going to order a whole season, or are they still just
No, I
kind of
have
teasing
no
you?
idea. Nobody
Oh.
has any idea anymore.
Gotcha.
Because everyone, I love my execs. We love our execs.
And they're not paying you as you go, right?
Yeah, I get paid, motherfucker. Come on now.
Oh, okay, good. Oh, good. I thought that it was like they buy it.
You're right. They buy the pilot. I get paid on a rewrite. And then if we go to animatic, which is what most likely will happen, I'll get paid on that as
And
well.
what's an animatic?
An animatic is going to be 6 to 8 minutes of the episode, probably in storyboard-ish form.
Mm-hmm.
Just showing what it looks like. Pen to paper, like me voicing it, the gal we have cast voicing her part.
You got to get Danny doing a voice.
Bonach? Oh,
Yes.
God, yeah. We
He's
gotta fly
just a
him into the
natural.
know.
It blows my mind that he's a friend of ours who's got a very distinct voice.
booth. Yeah.
I'm tumbling, dude.
I'm going tumbling, dudes. He's also part of the 5 Horsemen, our secret
Our
body
secret,
surfing
our secret
crew.
beach society.
Yeah. God damn. I'm going tumbling. He caught a wave. He was the tumbler. This is Third Eye.
Yeah.
Because I had a knack for seeing the waves as they came.
Ben would stand farthest out and we would look and he's going, all right.
A wave's coming.
Waves coming. And then sometimes Third Eye was wrong.
Yeah.
You'd be like,
Yeah.
what's going on with Third Eye today?
Third eye's all fucked up.
But Danny, who's a small feller, he was tumbler because he would
He'd
go
get
and he'd get
tossed around.
tumbled like he's in a laundry.
And we're all taking these like beautiful body
Yeah.
surfs, and you'd see Danny next to you, just like. And at one time, we were all in a wave, and we just hear him going, "I'm tumbling, dude."
I picture like, you know, in cartoons when they fight and it's like
Yeah.
a cloud,
Beep, 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 beep.
just like legs
Yeah.
sticking out here and there. I love Danny so much. He's in Atlanta right now working on a film that's shooting out
What?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
You know, he's, I think, assisting, PAing, production, maybe producing, that sort of stuff.
Damn, can
It
you say with
sounds-
who?
I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's out.
Is
in
it the same people that he's always worked
yeah,
with?
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, is it the sequel?
No, it's a different thing. It's
Oh.
a remake. It's Naked Gun. Remember the Naked Gun?
but with Liam Neeson?
Yeah, I think it is. Liam
yes.
Neeson.
Yeah. It's
The
Liam
the
Neeson.
Lonely Island guys are behind that?
Yeah. I hope that's in Deadline, and
Ah.
if it's not, we might have to cut.
No,
this.
it is because I've heard about it.
Okay. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
working on that. That's shooting right now. Which, I mean, how fun is that? That's gonna be hilarious. Did
gonna be
you see
great.
the Chippendale?
Chippendale?
Oh
Chip-
yeah,
Chippendale, right? That's who they are, right?
Chip and Dale.
What are you talking about?
They made a
They
Chippendale
made a
movie.
Chippendale movie for Disney.
It's
When? Oh, the one that came out a few years ago?
Gasp. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I didn't see it. I heard it was good.
it was pretty good.
Wow.
What
What about it?
They made it, Ben.
Oh, that's it.
They
Oh,
made
okay.
the movie.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that's what you meant.
One of my favorite. I got to go to a lot of Phil's press things when Animals was popping off, and they did a screening in New York, and they were talking about Mark Duplass was there, and it was after it screened, and it was like a Q&A, and they were asking questions about it, and they were kind of talking about the improbable nature of selling 2 seasons to HBO
Yeah.
like that, and the risk they took. And they said to Mark, like, did you know when you kind of signed on to this project that this was all possible? And he was like, honestly, I thought the best case scenario, we would end up at Stars. And you went, Stars! Like,
God, life was good back then. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that much. That's funny. Yeah, and I remember.
What?
Oh,
I remember at another thing, someone asked him, they were like, "Did you think this would work?" And he goes, "No."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What, dude?
Oh,
That's so fucking scary." But I'm glad it did.
what do you think you'd be doing if animals never got picked up?
Flying around the clouds because I'd be in heaven and I'd be fucking dead because I would have blown my fucking head off. No, I don't know. Probably, hopefully, this.
you
to
would have
some
been a
iteration.
creative
Yeah.
director.
I would have been a
Yeah.
CD making so much money at a big agency.
Yeah.
No, I probably would have somehow ventured over here.
Yeah, I could see that.
All this to say, I want anyone who is thinking about doing this to feel pretty. You should just write anyway if you want to make stuff. And for features too, there's other competitions you can enter, the Blacklist, all that sort of stuff.
A feature is a movie, folks.
A feature is a movie.
Features also seems like a more appealing thing
I
when
gotta
you are someone who's not. I mean, trying to break in, but sometimes with a TV show, you need someone to say, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna make a season of this."
Right.
But if you write a movie in a way where, I mean, it's still going to cost a fuckload of money.
Yeah, but look at, again, the Duplass bros.
Sure.
Like, they did a puffy chair. I think it was $10,000 or something like that.
So you can write a feature or a short.
and
you
the
can say-
Thunder Road guy, like that
Oh,
dude
yeah.
is so fucking good. And that movie was so good. And I think it was, I don't know how much he spent on it, but
just that first short.
that first short is amazing.
We're talking about there's a guy who, it's a really beautiful little short that came out. He was a cop and he's trying to get his, I haven't seen it in so long. He's trying to get like,
He's
his
at a friend's funeral.
Oh, I thought it was his wife's for some reason.
It could be his. Well, the short might be different from the
Okay.
movie.
Whatever. Yeah.
He's at a funeral.
He's at a funeral and he ends up singing Thunder Road.
Yes.
And
He's trying to get this boombox to play.
oh my God.
He's
Yeah.
trying to get this boombox to play Thunder Road, and it's his daughter's boombox or
Right.
something. It's not working.
and he's
it's
like panicking,
weirdly
like,
beautiful.
it's okay, honey, daddy's okay.
Yes, right. And the guy is such a good actor. And then off of that, I think he was able to get a little bit of funding and make this really great feature of the same name. And he's actually a really great follow of like, he's kind of a new Duplass of like super indie, constantly making movies. Every year makes a new movie on his own terms and budget and all that sort of stuff. This guy, Jim, fuck. It's not Jim, it's Jim Fuck.
Yeah, Jim Fuck is
Jim Fuck
really
made
big in
Thunder
indie
Road, dude.
No, but and you used to say a really good thing is that because sometimes it feels like you do, but it's important to remember that you don't need anyone's permission to make things.
Yes, right.
And
yeah,
like you
Unless
know,
you're under 18, you need your parents' permission.
that's true.
no, you can just go start shooting stuff. Even if you're a kid, you can just literally grab a
Well,
camcorder.
careful what you shoot.
Yeah, I
And,
was going to say you go grab a gun.
Uh,
Don't give me
Loud
that.
sniff afterwards. You can shoot a gun.
I've found that I'm sorry, Emil, continue. I interrupted you.
no, but and you know, my friend who had that show, it's not going to go, but he and it may go at another network or something. But you know, he even while he thought that was maybe going to happen, was shooting another short for proof of concept, which is like which I really love the idea. So I mean, you can just get out there and start shooting
And
stuff.
yeah, a lot of proof of concepts like
Also, sorry.
well, Twins, our short just stands alone on its own. We never were like, this could be a really good show. It started as like, we should make a short. And then it now is like this Ouroboros of like, yeah, it's just a short we made because we wanted to make it. But we were able with that to bring it to people and show them that. Anyway, I just said what you said, basically.
I used to want to, when I was just in my 20s and stuff, I thought that what I aspired to was, and it still is to many in many ways. I wanted to act and write and do comedy stuff, and I was always too scared to really get out and try anything. I didn't even know. I wish when I was like 20 that someone had told me about UCB, because when I was 20, it was still
True.
It was still such a good, and I was already here.
Yeah.
And like I just wish that I had done that and found and grown with whatever.
Yeah, but you're acting now, right?
I mean, I'm trying to, but
maybe do some for us right now.
that damn.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want?
Let's see.
You're
Me
getting
and
a phone
Phil
call.
are we own a company,
Mhm.
and we just
What kind of company?
it's a women's furniture company.
Okay.
And
Oh, this will be easy for me.
and we found some weird things on your computer, and we're firing you.
Hey, Ben,
Yeah.
can you come into our office real quick?
Yeah.
Have a seat, buddy.
Okay. Hey.
Nope, over there.
Okay.
Actually, maybe the first one?
Yeah, back at the
Yeah,
first one.
okay.
I'm
what's up,
I'm sorry.
guys?
Just before, can you actually say that?
The other one?
Yeah,
I know.
Okay.
So you want a good cop, bad cop this?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm working on that new account. I just wanted you.
No,
guys
we
to-
saw that.
Yeah, that's
So,
kind of that's what we wanted to talk to you about.
you know, we monitor screens and keystrokes and all that sort of stuff, right? On your computers?
on my work computer.
Yeah, on your work computer.
It's all legal and everything.
Except for what he was looking at.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be the bad cop, I guess?
Oh, yeah.
We found child porn on your computer.
goo.
And scene. we got it.
I mean, I think we fucking got it, dude. Let's give it up for Ben.
And that's a
Thank
wrap
you
on
so
Ben,
much.
everybody.
But I wanted
Ben Kahn is goo.
I wanted to do like TV writing and stuff, and it felt like the highest aspiration one could have in Los Angeles in the entertainment industry. But then as I saw more and more of how the sausage was made, in that my girlfriend at the time was a TV writer, my roommate
Brag.
at the time was a TV writer.
Brag.
It just seemed it just seemed like, yeah, it's cool and it's got an element of prestige, but at the same time, when a job ends, it's just like, am I ever going to work again?
Right.
Am I totally fucked? And then the work itself can be very challenging. You're at the office at the writer's room for 12 hours a day.
And you're at the behest of a head writer or a
Yeah.
showrunner
Yeah.
that oftentimes can be a fucking nut job or can be super cool and sick.
And even then, I mean, like you said, just in the last few years, it's changed where a TV show may have 20 episodes or however many and can keep you totally financially stable. Because I believe the industry minimum is $5,000 a week as a TV writer. Is it still?
I don't think it's that. I thought it was like 3. Well, I don't know.
Whoa. Oh, so I remember it being at least 5,000. That was like
It depends
the base
what the.
God, I wish.
It really depends on
where you're at.
like
and all that
streaming
stuff.
versus network
Oh,
and
sure.
like what.
True.
Yeah, I imagine staff writer's the lowest, and then it goes up from there.
Yeah.
Story editor and.
You also really have to love it too. Is one thing that I've
Well,
learned.
there's a lot of horror stories now, right? I mean, it's like, you know,
Because you could be on a shitty show.
Yeah.
or you could be on a good show and still struggling. I mean, there
Yeah.
was that famous story of the guy who wrote for The Bear. They, you know, everyone loved that first season, and they were darlings of the industry. They were going to the Writers Guild Awards, and I mean, this was like 2 years ago. I don't remember all the details, but he basically the story was that he was overdrafting his account just to
Get a suit.
be able to fly and get a suit and go down to
Right.
the awards and stuff. And you're like, what the fuck is everyone out here like, you know,
Yeah.
fighting for? You know, that is
The
a
weird-
dream job for
Yeah. The weirdest
so many
is
people in this town.
You see a lot of Twitter bios that are like, former lawyer, now TV writer. I'm like, stop it.
Go back.
Go back.
Uh,
Like a former doctor, now TV writer. Like, help
Are
people.
you calling out Ken Jeong?
Nah, we love Ken.
we love Ken.
We love Ken. We stand Ken. Ken
Wait,
fired
really?
your
Ken
dad?
fired. For those who can't hear, Ken
Ken,
Jeong
it's on site.
fired
Your whole
Dylan's
shit is
dad.
whack, dude. Honestly, he's a Masked Singer guy. Like, I don't
Fuck
know.
you, Ken.
I'll tell you one thing. Kermit the Frog coming out on that show.
You liked it. I didn't like it. This
I
was
loved
me and
it.
Phil have these things where we
We don't talk about them often.
well, but our Venn diagrams are usually like circles.
yes,
And,
yeah, just a purple circle.
Overlapping circles. But there's these weird things on the edge where, because we're always sending each other things, and we're gonna be like, oh, doesn't this rock? And like,
But also conversely, doesn't it suck?
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
fuck this.
But one time out of like 100, the other one will go, I kind of liked it, and we're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, let's talk about something else.
yeah.
And one of them was Kermit the Frog.
Come
It
out
was
of
the
the-
masked singer.
Yeah.
And inside of the singing masked person was Kermit the Frog.
and Emil hated it.
Emil hated
And
it.
I was like, look at this fucking shit, and he's like, I thought it was kind of cute.
Wait, do you not like Kermit, or did you just not like Kermit on The Masked Singer?
It was years ago. It's hard to remember the exact.
I think the main take, it was just very dystopian and strange, of like too many layers of commodification within this thing that a lot
Ben,
of
do you want to
people
do
were
another
rigged out
scene just in
about.
case there's any what are they called? What are the people?
Agents?
Pickups?
No.
Casting directors?
Yes, in case there's any casting directors watching.
There's none. But
Wow,
I'm still
no, see,
pissed.
that's the kind of that's the if you want
That's the attitude
that's
that's
the
not gonna make
attitude
it in
that's
this town.
never gonna
I'm
help
still
you.
pissed off that
I'm s-
commercial I shot hasn't come out.
Yeah, what's going on?
I don't know.
Do you
I
wanna do-
searched it. It's the company is C-Spire. I can say that. Who cares? And the name of the commercial was Cousin William.
Do you think maybe
and
you beefed it?
What?
Do you think maybe you beefed it?
No, because they also I did have that thought. But if I
Just
had
email
beefed
them. You beefed it.
it, the clients, the marketing people for the company were there on
Yeah,
set
of course we
watching.
should release it. You beefed it.
They on their YouTube channel, they had the other commercial that was shot in the same soundstage the same day. They had it up for like a week, and then they took it down.
Sounds like you beefed it.
No, then they took it down.
You know what we could do to get you back?
What?
Another scene.
Another
Okay,
scene.
give me-
here's
give
what
me
we're
that.
gonna
We're
do.
two.
We're two employees
No.
at a large women's wholesale furniture place. You're our boss, and you found something on our shared computer. And go.
Phil, Emil, can you guys come in here for a second?
Fuck off.
Excuse you. That's not how you talk
We're
to
on
me.
Reddit.
That's not how
Fuck
you talk to
off.
me, the boss.
Shut the fuck
I
up.
know
Shut
that-
the fuck up, Gary.
I know you guys are DEI hires.
Hey, fuck you.
Because we're
dude.
Italian?
Because we're two Italians, dude.
You know what? I like the cut of your guys'
Are they
jib.
Italian? Is that DEI? Anyway,
Did you say
curvy?
wait? Phil, did you say curvy in Italian?
No.
Oh, I thought you said curvy in
I said
Italian.
DEI. Damn. Are they Italian? Right here, baby. Right here.
Well, I was just letting you guys know that we're having a pizza party in the break room. And I know that you
Oh.
Italians love pizza.
You know what? I'm a little offended, but I'm coming on in.
Also,
And we're
you're both
here.
getting promoted.
Oh, because we've
okay.
been doing such a good job.
I was going to do goo again. Like it was my calling card.
Why didn't you just do the
Goo.
And
And
scene.
Nope, he beefed it. Send,
He
send
actually
him home.
beefed it. He actually beefed it.
Wait, I've got one more.
Okay.
Okay,
Jesus.
we're all close friends,
Okay.
and
This is going to be a stretch.
Yeah, no kidding.
me and Phil, we found out that your fiance
Died.
is cheating on you.
My fiance?
Mhm.
Do I know yet?
No, we're telling you.
Oh, man.
Okay.
Man, you guys, I love my fiance.
Wait,
Yeah.
Ben, thanks for coming to coffee.
Listen, we have
Yeah.
something to tell you about Richard.
Oh, man. What's going on? Oh, you mean my fiance?
Yep.
Oh, I love him so much. Don't you guys just, I can't wait to get married to Richard.
Yeah, the whole thing about Richard is
What about it?
He's
Isn't he great?
Actually,
He works at that women's furniture store.
and that's what we wanted to
And
talk
that's
to you
what we
about.
wanted to talk to
He's
you about.
actually a straight guy, and he's been fucking a lot of the women that come in to buy
He
women's
fucks
furniture.
most of the women.
Most of the women.
Richard is straight and he's been fucking around on you.
you.
Yes. Yes.
Is that what you were doing it for?
Yes.
You were setting me up for a goo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A perfect goo.
I wish we had a slide whistle. Goo. So ugh. So what?
So yeah, if there's any casting directors and you're interested in something like that, some guy fucking beefing it on your.
Well, wait, I wanted
Well,
to.
hold on. It's going to be a goo or it's going to be a beef. All right? There's not much
Yeah,
in
what do you
between.
want? The goo or the beef, baby?
People are looking for beef out there. People are looking for goat.
What time are we at, by the way? Oh, okay, great. I think we should just break right into the bonus episode because I'm enjoying this conversation very much. But also, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about how not soul sucking it is, but just how there are so many dead ends. Like I know someone who sold an animated pilot. I forgot what production company bought it. They bought it, and then. Or studio bought it, and then the executive who bought it left the studio.
Oh, yeah.
And then the new executive that came in was like, "Well, I don't want to touch any of
Yes.
the previous property that guy bought because I don't want his."
You don't get
stink
any
all
of the
over it."
adoration, but you get all the downside of
Also,
it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking, to even get staffed on a show or something is so lucky. Like, when I first came out here, it was because I worked on a pilot with another comic, and a production company attached themselves to it, and we were like, holy shit, we're gonna be hot shit TV writers. It obviously didn't work out like that, but then we got an agent, and then we were going out for staffing stuff, and you get to a place where you're like, oh, I would fucking die to get staffed on Fuller House. You're just like, you would do anything to like work on a fucking show you would hate.
Yeah.
Because it
and-
pays well and it's consistent.
Yeah, because it pays well, and,
And also,
yeah, they're
it's just
probably gonna
getting
do
you on the board, too.
Right.
It's a lot of like that sort of shit. Your friend sold an animated. Oh, yeah. And it's even more global than that. I had a show at a network who were developing my animated TV series, and that year they won Best Picture, their movies department, and then they said, we're not doing animated shows anymore. We're not even going to do
Jesus.
any more new TV shows. We're just going to focus on features. So like it can get way more global than that too, and that's the weird part of having so many different places is that they can be like, I don't know, it's all just a little bit more shifty of like, it's not HBO is this exact thing. They can focus on all these other different sort of bullshit.
And
motherfucker.
my aspirations have shifted, and I think less than wanting to do. I mean, sure, acting would be nice, but I wanted to. Then I thought, okay, the ultimate goal is to create and sell and make a TV show, and I got really excited when I had a guy expressed interest, an accomplished. What would you call him? Producer?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Creator.
I pitched him on a few ideas. And the only reason that I got that, I mean, I knew him prior, but we hadn't spoken in many years. And the only reason that I got in that position to begin with was because I did those Succession videos.
Oh,
And that-
yeah.
Yeah. And which just speaks to how amazing the power of just one good video.
Right.
Can
for
give you.
sure.
But
yeah, but that's also I find that a dangerous thing on its own. I like feel bad calling out. Do you remember that woman she went famous for lip syncing
Yes.
Trump videos? Sarah something.
oh yeah.
And she was
Wow, I forgot about
fucking
her.
everywhere. And
Someone called her the future of comedy.
I mean, well, that's I was feeling psycho. Friends going into like pitch things and telling us that they were like, who would be great for this? And I think he said, but we've never heard her talk before.
Yeah.
Like she only lip syncs things. And she got I think she got a Netflix
She had a
special.
yes, right. It was a special.
And I mean, I don't know one single person who watched this thing, and
I
I
know.
don't know. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll eat my words, but it doesn't seem like we're going to hear a lot from.
Her again?
Yeah, and it can be
Sure.
a like.
Hey, maybe 2024, if you know what I mean. If
I
it
mean,
goes our
yeah,
way.
bring
If it
them
goes
back.
our way.
But it's a bit of a like double-edged sword where they're like, they want you to do your thing, and when it doesn't have like a substantive.
True.
Yeah, when there was an agency that reached out, and I still, I guess, am technically repped by them, but I literally haven't spoken to them in over a year because they at first said, "Oh, you can do all these characters and impressions pretty well. What other characters do you have? We think that you should submit a tape to SNL." And I was like, "Okay, okay." So I had a bunch of shit that I had done before, just that I didn't show anybody. And I put together, they were like, the deadline's in 2 weeks. Can you do it? And I'm like, okay, I've never done a character reel before. I did it. I wasn't happy with it.
Sick.
So I told them, I maybe next year, maybe we'll do it next year. And they're like, that's totally fine. What else you got? And I was like, well, this, these ideas for these things. And I ended up just getting reached out to by, what's his name? What?
Nothing.
Oh, I
thumbed
thumbed
one in
you?
my eye.
And so he and I worked on, he really liked this one idea that I had, and we worked on it for a year. I think maybe over a year.
It was a long time.
Yeah, where he would give me, it was basically, I really like this idea. Can you shoot a proof of concept? Shot a proof of concept. That was kind of different, but it was enough to get him like, okay, this is awesome. I really love this. Let's work on it together. He would give me notes. I would make the iterations of those notes, and I'd give it back to him, and it just was that back and forth.
Yeah, you got to build in rounds with producers.
It was exhausting, and by the end, I love the guy, and he loves me, and there was obviously no bad blood or anything. But toward the end, it was so different than what I had originally thought, in a good way. Like, I do think that it changed in a good way, but then my vision for it really changed, and I wanted to go, like you said, like more rated R adult kind of thing. And he was like, that's not what I'm seeing at all. I'm seeing it like the total opposite, like really sweet and gentle and stuff. And it just was, I also, my enthusiasm for it had cratered. And I just was like, man, I don't even know if this is fucking doable anymore. And then we started doing the podcast, so it really took a backseat. Yeah. And I still want to do it, but I'm nervous in the sense that, like, I know that these days the way to do it is to shoot something yourself and fund it.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know.
I've been shooting a lot of music videos for the band recently, and it is not that hard. And you remember Keebler? We used to fucking shoot those like shits and gigs, and those look good and feel good and all that sort of stuff. So
we're going to go into the bonus episode now, benandemilshow.com. We're going to talk about some other shit. I have fun. We're going to talk about some other stuff.
We're going to talk about some other stuff.
But we're also going to continue this conversation, but I just didn't want to break it up by like, all right, let's end the episode and let's go fucking back there and pee and stuff.
Basically, they're all just like one big episode. If you want more, there's going to be a bunch more at benandemilshow.com.
benandemilshow.com. See ya.
Fade to black.